We are business owners. Do you recognize that? Whenever I'm meeting new people, there's a question that inevitably comes up, right? So, what do you do? And if you want to really just shut down a conversation really fast, then all I need to say is, I'm a financial advisor. And then they will run for the hills. They will make it the fastest escape out of a conversation they have ever done. Probably because they have too much experience with Northwestern Mutual representatives. And often they'll say something just ridiculous to get out of that conversation. Like, I'll say, oh, I'm a financial advisor. And like, oh, I already have one. All right, I got to go get some chips. And they'll be gone. And I'm like, okay, good for you. Didn't ask if you had one. Didn't say anything about it. It was just, you asked me what I do. That's what I do. But people have, again, such bad experiences with financial advisors that they sometimes will run for the hills. There are a lot of ways I could answer that question. The question of what do you do? And I once received training a three-pronged technique for how to answer that question. And the way that the method worked was, number one, you state a problem that supposedly everyone has, or at least everyone who's in the demographic of the person that you're talking with, right? And then you state how you help solve that problem. And then three, you state the feeling that that person is going to get when you've solved their problem. Right? So it might go something like this, right? Someone says, so what do you do? And I say, well, you know how most people really don't know if they're saving enough for retirement? Well, our unique process is able to show you how to turn your nest egg into a stream of income that you can never outlive. That way, you can sleep comfortably at night knowing that you will never run out of money. And they're like, thanks. I just asked you what you do, not your whole life story. And really, there's training out there and about how to get around that question, about how to do weird things to try to get unsuspecting victims to become your clients, and it's just ridiculous. Generally, my actual response when someone asks me that question is, I'm a financial planner, and then I quickly follow it up with some way to turn the conversation back on them. That way, they don't feel like they need to make an awkward escape. But sometimes, when I'm feeling frisky, if someone asks me that question, I might have a different response. So, what do you do? I'm a business owner. And if you ask that question, they'll usually say something, oh yeah, what business? Well, I own a financial education company. We produce a magazine, a podcast, and some workshops. I also co-own a local financial planning firm and a few thousand of the best businesses in the world. Doesn't that sound fun? I co-own a few thousand of the best businesses in the world. That sounds much better, right? Because you see, I co-own Lacrosse Financial Planning, my financial planning firm. I co-own that 50-50 with my business partner. But technically, there's no limit to the number that the co-owner can represent, right? And there's no amount of ownership that you need in order to be considered a co-owner. And so if you've been around for a while, you've probably heard me talk about the phrase, being partial owners of the best businesses in the world. That when we talk about investing around here, we don't say we invest in the stock market or these other things. No, we are partial owners of the best businesses in the world. When we buy in, we are buying equity shares, ownership shares in these businesses. That's what stock means. But I think I'm going to switch to co-owners. We are co-owners of the best businesses in the world. Sounds better. Wouldn't you agree? So a good follow-up question to what do you do is who do you do it for, right? Some people, they have certain businesses that are niched towards a certain group of individuals. Not all businesses work with all people. In the same way, even in financial planning, most firms are generalists, but there are a lot of actual specialists that work only with a certain group of people. For example, you could specialize in working exclusively with medical professionals, which Swartz Financial Planning does. You could specialize in working with Gen X and millennials, which XY Financial Planning does. You could specialize in working with folks over 50 who are looking towards retiring or just inside of retirement, like Lacrosse Financial Planning does. But sometimes I like to answer that, hey, so who do you financially plan for? I like to answer that with, I work with business owners. I work with business owners. And maybe not in the traditional sense, but in a very real sense, I exclusively work with business owners. And here's the thing. We are business owners. You and I are business owners. We are co-owners of the best business in the world. When we invest our hard-earned dollars into businesses that will work hard for us, and we reap the profits that those businesses generate. That's why we do it, right? And I only work with business owners. I only work with those who recognize that the best way to grow their income faster than the cost of living is to own the best businesses in the world. That these businesses will continually innovate and find ways to be profitable no matter what is happening in the world. And folks who'd rather stay in cash or loan that cash to businesses instead of owning those businesses, they're not going to work with me. I won't pilot a sinking ship. And so I only work with business owners, people willing to own the best businesses in the world. When we first started investing, we were not throwing our money into the stock market. We were not gambling. We were not trading. We were investing in ownership shares of the best businesses in the world. And what we do early in our career, right, is we focus primarily on our earned income, on our careers. And we put some money in, invest a little bit, and we are business owners on the side. Right? We throw some money into our retirement accounts, into brokerage accounts, whatever else, and we start growing our ownership stake in the best businesses in the world. So early in our careers, primarily career, and we have a side hustle of being a business owner. But as we work and as we save and as we do so with discipline and patience and over a long period of time, that balance begins to shift. And eventually, our ownership shares in the best businesses in the world kicks off more in profits than we make by working. And at some point, our money makes more than we do. And that's when we get rid of what has now become our side hustle, our earned income, and focus on our new full-time job, being a business owner. See, we talk about retiring around here, right? Retiring successfully and staying successfully retired, but maybe that's really not what we're doing. Maybe what we're really doing is we are getting rid of our side hustle of earning money through a career, getting rid of that side gig, which has become our side gig, so that we can focus now on our full-time work of being a business owner. And that's what we are. We are co-owners of the best businesses in the world. And eventually, hopefully all of us can be able to do that full time. And the results of being a business owner are absolutely terrific, right? Over the last 30 years, ending at the end of 2022, the cost of everything we needed and wanted to buy went up 2.1 times. It doubled, a little more than doubled, up 2.1 times. However, ownership in 500 of the best businesses in the world has done far better. The dividend of the S&P 500, the profits that they pay out to the owners of those companies, is up 5.5 times over that same period. So I'll say that again, right? The cost of everything that we need and want to buy, the cost of living, is up 2.1 times over the last 30 years, ending 2022. And the profits paid out by those businesses to their business owners are up 5.5 times. That's not bad. But the businesses are more than value-creating money-printing machines, right? They do more than just do their job and make money that they can then pay out in profits. They have value themselves. And they have value because they own real property and real patents that produce income and have intrinsic worth. And so not only did these businesses pump out 5.5 times in growth and the profits they're paying out to the owners, but the value of our ownership shares in these companies from the end of 1992 through the end of 2022 is up 8.8 times. So, to sum it up, right? What is the point of being a business owner? Well, for the last 30 years, ending December 2022, inflation is up 2.1 times. Profits paid out to owners are up 5.5 times. And value accrued in those businesses is up 8.8 times. It is good to be a business owner. It is good to be a business owner. And oh yeah, in case you forgot, 2022 ended in a bear market. This was not an up year. This was not an all-time high. This was in the middle of a bear market where everything was down. And yet still, we have 5.5 times more in profits and 8.8 times more in value. Can't wait to see what those numbers look like when this market recovers and we see it in a good season. Don't forget, we are not pre-retirees. We are not retirees. We're not employees. We are business owners. If you enjoyed that, you would love being part of our free membership community. It's called Retire Membership and it has a host of benefits all for free. For example, you can always buy my book, 3D Retirement Income, on Amazon. But if you join us at Retire Membership, we will send you either a hard copy or paperback for free, provide the ebook and the audiobook so that you can listen to it if you don't have time to read it. In addition to that, we'll also provide you with a bunch of content that you can't get anywhere else. For example, we have our quarterly Retire Mentorship magazine, which comes out quarterly and has no ads whatsoever. It's just timely content to help you stay the course. We also have workbooks for our free online workshop to help you get the most out of those, flowcharts to help you make better decisions, and a weekly email to provide timely content that you can unsubscribe from at any time. We never ask for any payment information, and we never share your information with anyone else. We just want to provide timely content and help you stay the course to retire successfully and stay successfully retired. There's no reason to wait, so join us now at retiremembership.com, where you can click in the link in the description and it'll go right there. We can't wait to see you in the community. Cheers. This podcast is educational only and is not investment, tax, or legal advice.